And believe it or not, we're back again. Our commitment is every afternoon to be here so that I can bring people from my network to share something good. And today we're going to hear lots of good stuff. It's always great to have this human being around. She's a giver. She does lots of great stuff. Please welcome Laurie George, CEO of United Way in Palm Beach, who I met early in my days here in Palm Beach. Was thrilled to do so, thrilled to help any way I can. Laurie George, tell me something good.
Tell you something good. We have a very generous, caring community where people want to take care of one another. Pleased to be on your show today. And it's really just been heartwarming with all the negativity. I love your theme of telling me something good because it really gets us up in the morning every day.
Awesome. Thanks. So why don't you share with the audience who may not know you or may not know how we know each other, kind of give them, if you can backfill the story a little bit, that'd be great.
Okay, absolutely. I'm the CEO of United Way of Palm Beach County, and you came into my life, Steve, through Lexi Savage, a mutual friend, and came and did some original trainings with us based on your book. And I remember at the very beginning, one of your points was tell me something good. And I thought, how do you use that? And really, since then, it's become a part of my regular life where I use that in everything that I do, personally and professionally. But that's really when you came into really into my space at United Way and helping me as a leader. And then it really grew from there. LinkedIn, all kinds of things, podcasts. I did my first podcast with you, things like that. So it really started, I think, on that very initial training, and it was so relevant and so energizing that I became a Noodleborg follower.
That's so sweet. And since that time, you're on TV all the time. So why don't you share with people some of the stuff that you're doing with some of the local broadcasts? Because I really think, and I thought this before, and I continue to think, you guys do such great work. Not everybody knows what United Way does and how they do it. So why don't you share with the audience a little bit about United Way, what you're doing to spread the message, and how still to this day, it's every minute you're taking care of people.
Yeah, absolutely. So our mission is to ensure that everybody in Palm Beach County has access to the basics, which is enough to eat, a place to sleep, access to healthcare and quality education. So that's the basics. And so with that in mind, when COVID-19 has hit and the economy has really been, turned upside down, the needs have never been greater, honestly. And at United Way, we don't provide direct service, but we're almost like the nonprofit that helps other nonprofits. And so we've had about 400 different applications from nonprofits, and we've been raising money to help fund the programs that they're doing because they're doing the boots on the ground direct service, feeding people, making sure they, have a roof overhead, that type of thing.
What's been interesting is, and I don't think people realize this, the amount of people that are not getting a daily meal, I think is astounding. Maybe you can share a little bit about that phenomenon, because when I've heard that, I was like, wow, there's nothing more basic or fundamental than eating, I would think, or food.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we have a hunger relief plan. We've been working on that strategy for some time because there's over 200,000 people who are food insecure, which means they don't know where the next meal is going to come from. With our collaboration, we've been able to move the needle on that and reduce it. But now with COVID-19, the numbers are through the roof. People who did not need to come and access a food bank or pantry are looking for services. It's kind of insane, honestly. 53,000 children on any given day were already food insecure, but now they're out of school and we're having to figure out drop-off sites so kids can, get something to eat each day. Senior citizens as well. A lot of the pantries closed down because their volunteers weren't protected and they didn't want to come out and, be exposed. And so we've been having to provide protective equipment to volunteers and to pantries and provide them extra support so they could reopen. But people are asking that have never needed to ask.
Just the fact that there's a word or a term called food insecure. That's right. The first time I've heard that term. That in and of itself is kind of will shake you to the core. So what actually is happening? We talked a little bit before when we got on that people are donating money, people are volunteering. How do people get involved with United Way to help? If they want to.
Honestly, the best way is on our website. We're keeping continual updated information about opportunities available because they keep shifting. There might be a day where a certain school site opened or a pantry opened and they could use some extra hands to distribute. And so that's real time. We also, not everybody knows, but we are the lead agency for the county for donations and volunteers. It's Emergency Support Function 15. And so we're in constant partnership with the county at the Emergency Operations Center. We have a virtual website, and so people tell us what their needs are, and then we also activate volunteers to meet those needs. So it's really a pretty neat combination. We had one company, offer up their trucks and things so that we could access that for delivery. So people do have resources that are not conventional. And if they kind of lean into that and say, hey, I've got this, we put it in the database, it hangs out there a little while, and then a need pops up, we match it, and we have a solution. So that's been kind of a fun part about it that people wouldn't think of.
It's pretty awesome. So leading your organization from or remotely must have presented some challenges. Many of the guests that I've had on have talked through that, the double part of that. You got to take care of yourself because leaders that don't take care of themselves can't lead. And then being an example for your staff, which you don't get the opportunity to huddle up with every day. Can you speak to some of what you're doing for you and how you're handling them?
Yeah, sure. We actually do have staff huddles twice a week. We've kind of cut down to once a week, and then we have smaller team huddles. But we started just by trying to make it fun. We're all getting a lot more fluent in the technology that's at our fingertips. But we would just do fun things like Crazy Hat Day, or today we sang happy birthday to everybody and sounded like bad karaoke. You know what I mean? It was terrible, but it was fun, right? Actually, today at our staff meeting, we all wore green because May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And so we all wore green shirts and took a picture. So we're trying to connect in ways that are helpful. We also do have affinity groups, and they're continuing to do book clubs, yoga sessions, all kinds of things. So it's really using the technology. One thing that was pretty cool, though, was when we did the ABC telethon, we had never done a virtual telethon. And so literally we used GoToMeeting, and we had our callers on the phone, and they kept showing that on the TV station. And it actually worked. You think you've got to sit in a studio and take the calls because that's how we've always done it. But we did it all remote, and it was a really successful campaign. So it was pretty impressive. They actually were doing live interviews I was at my dining room table here, and throughout the day they just kept, you're on. Tell us how the fundraiser's going, and what do you need? And a lot of people called in, a lot of people donated, and we were able to really provide some education along with resources. So it's thinking differently, right? Every day, like what's it going to look like? I don't know, when is it going to reopen? I can tell you that either. We're watching along with everybody else, and you just have to communicate a lot and be flexible and be good to one another is the biggest thing.
I mean, I think that's extremely well said. I mean, one of the things that I think is going to be a positive takeaway from this is to see how efficient we could be, to see how resilient we can be. And like you said, in no time, you got comfortable with the technology.
Right.
My practice for, years has been trying to get CEOs and trying to get, organizations to be more in touch with the technology of how to communicate and all that stuff. And now all of a sudden in the flash, people realize that you can get work done remotely. You can still have fun. I don't think anything will ever replace face-to-face, but the hug is going to be a unique, experience.
Yeah, so, absolutely true. Yeah.
For you personally, is there anything that sort of rattled through your brain? Any routine that you're doing that is something that we can take away? Because I've spoken to so many leaders who have something they've hung on to that said, if I didn't do this, I would really go off the deep end. So
We walk every day. My husband and I, we get up and we take the dogs for a walk 3 miles a day. And it's just a good way every single day to get up. It kind of, and then I get dressed, do the hair, the makeup. Today I'm wearing jeans, make sure you're not wearing, you're in your pajamas all day, show up for work like you would any other way. And I think it really makes you feel like you're at your desk, able to work in that way. I would say that just keep your morning routine, consistent, and you're good to go. So.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, I have my blazer right here.
Yeah, exactly.
People, right from the get-go who joined my huddle, they go, wow, you get up and put a blazer on? I got to get up, I work out, I shower, I do everything I used to do. The only thing I don't have to do is leave. I can get right to work, which I don't complain about. I go, wow, I can get right to it and sort of take advantage. So, for those who
one thing is my husband is working from home too. And so we're sharing space. So that's been really quite interesting because he's actually on a CBS now, and he's promoting his business on there. So we almost take turns with the camera. So I'm learning a little bit more about what he does, and I'm able to introduce him to certain things and vice versa. So that's been pretty cool. And then we also have kids that are doing virtual school from home. And so we all get up, we check on each other. And, at night, we actually do another tradition, I would say, or something important to have it, is that we come together around the dinner table. And then we say, what happened in your day today? And so we're absolutely every night reconnecting, praying together, eating a meal together, talking about what your next day looks like, and just spending more quality time, which has really, really been important for all of us.
Of all of the shows I've done, that could be the best something good is that tradition or routine of getting together every day and sharing what's good, what's bad. That's something I've done used to do for years, and then you get away from it. Now, all of a sudden, this has thrown us back to that. So that's pretty awesome. For the people listening today that want to get involved, I'll supply the website.
Okay. Awesome.
There are some specific action plans. If they want to get in touch with you, you're pretty active on social, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. Reach out to me. Actually, people text me, they reach out to me. Happy to share. Honestly, I'm happy to share my cell phone. People are texting me anytime, really, a day or the weekend, and I'll have the right staff person call them right back. I just had somebody this weekend say, hey, I really want to get involved with your Emerging Leader Society. Looks like you're doing some really fun things, and I want to get connected with that group. And so right away yesterday, somebody gave them a call back, which is great. It is a time people want to connect, and there's still a lot of fun things going on. You just have to, raise your hand, make a call.
I love that. That's how I'm going to close, is that if you want to just raise your hand, it's always a pleasure to get together with you.
Thank you.
If you need me or anything from On the Ball, you can count on it. It was our pleasure to work with you, our pleasure to share your message.
Thank you.
Stay on the ball.
Thank you. It's my heart. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.